And we get into Valpolicella. Producer is called Musella, and this is kind of an exception. I started to select some Amarone and Valpolicella in our wine club. I actually started last year. It's not easy for me because most of you know what is actually my opinion on Amarone. I call it the fake wine or the jammy wine. It's a wine that is made with raisins and somehow was invented almost by mistake. It became famous in the 80s mainly because of the American market and the German market and Norwegian and Swedish market. The idea to have a big bowl, the soft type of wine that is not really focused on the land, is focused on the technique which is made, which goes against all my possible rules. But Corvina and Corvinone are actually nice, interesting grape variety, and it's nice how there is a video I think we did of Brigaldara when he explained, the old guy, all the different trends actually Amarone had. You know, in the 80s were more like a Porto type of wine, and then it became a super concentrated, and now it started to become lighter. And this is a beautiful example because this is, I call it, the big that becomes small. Just a kind of a unique experience in wine production. We always see small artisan winemaker. They make a good wine, they become famous, and they might decide to raise up the price or to start to produce more. I used to say even Ronald McDonald was making beautiful hamburgers maybe in the 50s, and then it became industrial. So it's also actually our job to stay beside the winemaker and, you know, maybe to say, okay, my friend, thank you. It was nice working for you, but I don't think you need us anymore. You don't need our wine club because you're making too much bottles and your quality is going a bit down. I'm happy to pay a bit more the price of the bottle, but I'm not happy to have a wine that doesn't have the same quality. There are some few exceptions. This has actually happened, in Napa Valley especially happens a lot of times in US, but even in Italy. But this is a beautiful exception because Musella used to be a big winery that started to reduce quantity, actually transformed all the company in an organic biodynamic producer. And I remember my friend Gaetano said, "Oh, you want to try the Musella wine?" I said, "What are you talking about? I'm not going to drink a Musella wine at all." And because I remember it was like an industrial wine and so on. You know, wine sometimes you could even find in the supermarket. No, they completely changed everything. And I tried it and I was so shocked. We're going to visit actually this winery in a couple of weeks. So for you, probably the video will be available on the beginning of November, mid of November, not before because we have to edit it. But this is also wine that, you know, you should keep it in the cellar for maybe 3-4 months. I wouldn't, you know, rush it too much. The characteristic I'm saying, Corvina and Corvinone are kind of a, you know, nice aromatic type of grape varieties. The problem is that sometimes they overripe it. And so it gets that kind of a nice jammy, but a bit like sticky type of flavor. You know, the wine gets a bit, you know, you like the first sip, you don't like the second one. While this is, as far as I remember, is actually the opposite. What I actually like when you get a lighter type of Corvina, which is not too ripe, you tend to have a bit more spices. Buonissimo questo one. A nice smoky finish, a bit more spicy. You get the terroir here, you get the soil. It's like earthy, which is not something common in general for a Corvina or Corvinone. I might guess actually Monte dei Ragni and possibly a few others. This is really interesting Valpolicella. For some of you, might even been disturbing. It happens when I give a traditional Prosecco to people that are used to industrial Prosecco. Well, I don't like it. What is this? It's not what I'm used to eat and drink. The same thing if you're used to a Valpolicella that is actually super bold and jammy. This might sound a bit more, you know, but, you know, give it a time. Of course, you have the nice aromatic and sweet part of the palate. Then you have this nice ending finish with a bit of a bitterness and saltiness and nice and crispy. I would go this with a cacio e pepe pasta. With you can go even with an amatriciana with a pasta all'arrabbiata. It means like a tomato sauce pasta, something a bit spicy, not too much. Thank you.